AI moves fast and silent like lasagna. It is not shouting. It is whispering through code, sneaking into your browser, your voice assistant, your productivity stack. But before we dive in, did you know that 60% of you aren't following us across all our socials? If you like the show, do us a huge favor and hit that subscribe button on this app you're listening to us now and collect our episodes on pods.media. Your support means the world. Thanks, guys. We're ripping into a stack of sources this time, zeroing in on the absolute sprint AI has been on over just one short week, specifically the breakthrough spotted between May 27th and June 2nd, 2025.
Yeah, it really felt like every single day brought something significant. We've pulled together articles, announcements, all the sorts of notes to really try and map out this rapid movement.
Exactly. And our mission today is pretty clear, I think. Let's unpack these specific recent developments. What are they, really?
Right.
Why do the sources say they matter? And, crucially, what do they collectively tell us about how AI is quietly, kind of subtly weaving itself deeper and deeper into our daily lives and how we work?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking voice, agents, productivity, browser tech, even some really fascinating accessibility leaps, all highlighted in the material you brought us.
It's definitely a week that underscores just how much AI is evolving on, well, multiple fronts at the same time. It's not just getting smarter, it's becoming more intuitive, more capable of acting independently, and frankly, more inclusive too.
Okay, let's just dive straight into it then.
Yeah.
Kicking things off right at the start of that week, May 27th, Anthropic rolled out something pretty interesting, a beta feature for Claude on their mobile apps, voice mode.
Right, the voice mode. And what stands out here, really, based on the material, is how much it simplifies interaction. It's for English users on mobile apps right now, powered by Claude Sonnet 4.
Okay.
You can literally just talk to Claude, ask your questions, and you hear the response back. They even put key points up on the screen as it speaks, which is kind of neat.
Which means, theoretically, you could be doing something else entirely, driving, cooking, whatever, and still get information or bounce ideas off Claude just by speaking. It feels less like using a tool and more like talking to someone.
Exactly. That hands-free aspect is, I think, key. And it's also a significant step for accessibility, really opening it up for users who might have mobility challenges or maybe visual impairments. It just brings AI much closer to being a natural conversational partner.
So if the beta goes well, and it sounds like it might, we could see voice interaction become like a fundamental way people use mobile AI.
Yeah.
Especially as they add more language support down the line.
That definitely seems like the trajectory it points to, yeah. It could become pretty standard.
Okay.
Now, if voice is about interaction, let's talk about action. Because on that very same day, May 27th, Mistral AI announced their Agents API.
Okay, now this feels like a completely different beast. Agents API. What exactly does that enable developers to do?
So this is where AI starts moving beyond just responding to prompts and begins doing things autonomously. The announcement material really highlights that developers can use this API to build AI agents that handle complex sort of multi-step tasks without constant human input. Think things like coding, performing detailed web searches, even generating specific kinds of images, all, strung together by the AI itself.
So developers aren't just plugging in to get text output. They're plugging into something that can actually orchestrate actions. And it can integrate with things like Python libraries or specific AI models.
Precisely. That's the design. It's built to integrate with other tools and models, like their own Mistral Large latest. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this shift towards autonomous agents, well, it's massive for businesses.
Right, yeah.
It could genuinely transform how enterprise operations are run, taking on tasks that are currently super time-intensive and costly.
Yeah, freeing up human workers for more higher-level thinking, I guess. It sounds like adding more integrations, maybe connectors for things like analytics platforms or CRM systems, would be the logical next step to make this truly indispensable for companies.
That seems like a really clear path for them, to sort of cement their place in that enterprise space.
Makes sense.
Okay, let's pivot slightly then to productivity, because on May 29th, Perplexity launched something called Labs.
Labs. Yeah, this one caught my eye in the reporting. It's explicitly for their pro subscribers, right?
Yeah.
The $20 a month tier. What's the headline feature there? What's the big promise?
The promise is basically speed and the quality of the output. Labs is designed to let users generate pretty sophisticated outputs like full reports, interactive dashboards, or even simple web apps incredibly quickly. The sources noted this could happen in minutes.
Minutes. Seriously.
Yeah, leveraging Perplexity's research capabilities and combining them with code execution power.
Wow. Minutes for a report or a dashboard. That feels genuinely disruptive.
Yeah.
I mean, taking tasks that might take days and crunching them down that could absolutely redefine how people approach certain workflows.
It definitely has that potential, for sure. However, it does raise the point that, it's locked behind that paywall right now. The full force of that productivity boost is only available to paying users, which, well, it limits its immediate impact on the broader population.
Right, that's the catch. So the hope is maybe some of that capability eventually trickles down to the free tier, or they find other ways to sort of democratize access to that speed.
That would certainly broaden its influence, yeah. Definitely something to watch.
Okay. Speaking of things integrating deeply into daily use, let's look at something happening inside the browser itself. Opera's browser operator feature was highlighted last week. This is where your browser itself starts acting like an AI assistant. Is that right? The reporting mentioned it being the first major browser to natively automate tasks within the browser environment, like booking tickets or finding specific deals for you based on what you're browsing.
Yeah, the promise is clear efficiency. Your browser isn't just a window to the internet. It's actively helping you navigate and accomplish tasks on the internet.
Which sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It'd be really useful. Until you think about what that requires, it must need deep access and understanding of pretty much everything you're doing in your browser.
Exactly. And that's the rub. The privacy implications here are pretty significant. A browser deeply integrated with AI to perform tasks is groundbreaking and could fundamentally change our internet experience. But user trust hinges entirely on how robustly they handle privacy and data security.
Totally.
That's the critical condition. Without strong privacy measures, this kind of feature is going to struggle to gain widespread adoption, I think.
Yeah, privacy absolutely has to be paramount there. All right, shifting gears again to a completely different but equally vital area, accessibility. Yeah. On May 28th, Google introduced something called SignGemma.
Yes, SignGemma. This is a really important development, I feel. It's an AI model specifically trained to translate American Sign Language ASL into either text or speech.
Okay.
And what makes it particularly vital, as highlighted by the coverage, is that it's designed to run on-device.
On-device ASL translation. Wow. That's huge for privacy and just real-time use, isn't it? You don't need to send sensitive video data off to some server.
Precisely. It uses vision transformers for that real-time processing power, and the plan is apparently to open source it, which is fantastic for, furthering research and development in this specific area. It really feels like a major step towards greater inclusion for the deaf community.
Definitely. Though, understandably, the reporting did mention that its real-world effectiveness is still kind of pending validation of its accuracy. In translation, accuracy is absolutely everything.
Oh, absolutely. Crucial. But assuming that accuracy holds up in testing, adding support for other sign languages down the road could make this a truly global tool for breaking down those communication barriers.
Okay, so let's just take a step back for a second and look at these 5 pretty distinct breakthroughs from just 1 week. Claude's voice mode, Mistral's Agents API, Perplexity Labs, Opera's browser operator, and Google's SignGemma.
Yeah.
What does this rapid-fire series of developments actually tell us when we look at them all together?
Well, it paints a picture, doesn't it? It shows AI moving kind of in unison towards a future that is maybe less about us having to adapt to AI tools and more about AI adapting to us and our world. You see it in voice-making interaction feel natural, and agents taking on complex tasks, almost like a helpful colleague, and productivity tools just accelerating our work. In the browser becoming an active helper, and then in accessibility models like SignGemma, bridging these crucial communication gaps.
So it's not just about bigger models or more raw power anymore. It's really about integration and application. It's AI moving from the theoretical or the niche into the everyday, embedding itself in the tools we already use and making them more capable in these subtle, often kind of quiet ways. That core idea from the start, AI not shouting but whispering, feels incredibly relevant here.
It really does. These don't just feel like cool tech demos anymore. They feel like actual foundations being laid, like building blocks for an AI-driven world that aims to be more connected, more efficient, and ultimately maybe more aligned with how humans naturally communicate and operate.
It's exciting, maybe a little bit daunting for some people too, but it's undeniably here. This past week alone feels like pretty solid proof that this future isn't some distant concept. It's being built right now, step by rapid step.
For sure. And as you process these specific advancements from just 1 week, here's something maybe to chew on. Out of all these seemingly subtle shifts, AI you can talk to, AI that acts autonomously, AI speeding up your work, AI helping you online, AI breaking down communication barriers, which one do you think will have the most direct, noticeable impact on your own life or work first?
Good question.
And what does this cluster of diverse breakthroughs, all happening basically at once, tell you about the sheer speed and pervasiveness of the future? AI is quietly building all around us right now.